Hey, it's Naila, and this is Girl What You Reading. And today we need to talk about, did I kill you? Did I? don't know. Let's talk about it. Okay, so Did I Kill You by Harper Shaw. That one right there. Ooh, okay, so this book, it's a good story. I'm just gonna say it is a very good story. However, I knew who the killer was within like the first couple of scenes with the killer. I knew who the killer was. Was it still a good story? Yes, it was still a good story. It was still a good ride. We were able to get through the whole thing and still enjoy ourselves. So let me go ahead and tell you. The story is about a woman who is now a detective, but in her teenage years, her sister was murdered. After they went to a party, they snuck out to go to a party. The sister was being kind of a buzzkill, as sometimes sisters are. She's her twin. So, she was like, you know what? You could just get out and walk, is basically what happened. And so the sister got out, left, walked away. She had took some drugs, or whatever, and the sister was not a party to all the stuff that they were doing in the car before they got to the party. So they were with a bunch of friends, and those friends were doing drugs and having a good time, and the sister was like, oh, no, not me. She was one of those types that was just like, no, this isn't for me. I'm not gonna do this. And so her twin sister is like, well, you're being a buzzkill. We're all having a good time. You can get out and walk. Meanwhile, the sister doesn't know that those drugs are laced, so she doesn't remember anything that happened. Okay, after her sister got out the car, she doesn't remember anything. So her question becomes, well, did I kill her? Because her sister does wind up dying. So then her whole life she's wondering, did I kill her? Could I have possibly killed my own sister? Everybody in town thinks that she probably did. And with her not having her memory, she really can't say whether she did or didn't. And so she leaves town, she moves to New York, she becomes a New York detective. And when she comes back to town to bury her parents, because now her parents have died on the same road as her sister, they had a car accident on that same road. So it's just way too much coming up. That's just way too similar. And so she's just like, okay. So the killing starts all over again now that she's back in town, and it's just looking like, what is going on, right? So, and it's always like when she's drunk or when she can't really remember what happened the night before. So her whole thing is like, did I do this? Is this something that I did? She didn't realize that the drugs that she had taken back when she was a teenager was laced with a much stronger drug, which then messes with her brain. So the dreams and everything is going on. So long story short, she does have a few people in her corner who definitely let her know, like, you did not do it. And then there are other people who are still like kind of believing that she did it. And it's just like really sad that she has to go through that in her own community. But it happens. So she finds out she didn't have anything to do with anything. And then it's just like, no, I still need to find out who killed my sister. It's been 10 years and nobody knows yet who killed her, and it's still a thing. So then she goes on this quest, and you know, everybody's like, wait, you can't do that, you're not a cop here, so you can't do that. And she just keeps getting these roadblocks and so forth until finally she figures out who the killer is. And yeah, that's what happens. Anyway, I wound up giving this 3.5 stars. I did like the story. I did enjoy myself. It was very entertaining. I did find it hard to put down. However, I did know who the killer was. I knew. And I didn't even do the thing that I normally do, which is go all the way back to the end and then find out if I was right or not, and then come back and finish reading it. I read it. So I did read it on Scribd. Y'all know me and Scribd, so definitely check out the link. Scribd is like Netflix for books. You get to read as much as your heart desires for the month for the low price of $11.99 a month, and you get to read unlimitedly. So it's great. It's a great resource. I love it. Link is in the description. Also, I will leave a link to the book itself in the description, how you can get to that. If you don't have a Scribd account, you can get the book from Amazon. Of course, I will leave that link in the description. But it is worth a pickup. If you like a good psychological thriller, let's go with psychological thriller, because they were definitely playing mind games with this woman. But but I wouldn't call it a mystery so much, because like I said, I figured out who the killer was very quickly. I did hear on one of the interviews that the author did that they were just writing 1 hour a day because they couldn't find the time to actually just sit down and write the whole book. I think maybe if they had it might have came out a little bit differently. But she just decided, I'm gonna write 1 hour a day, and by the end of it, I should have a whole book, and that's exactly what happened. So, I mean, it is a good book. It's good enough to read. It's good enough to get into. But I wouldn't give it 5 stars. I gave it 3.5 because it is entertaining. But again, kind of obvious who the killer was. But again, this is Girl What You Reading. I've been Naila, and I will see you next time. Bye.